39 minutes
The world
of
thought-
sound.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Take a little listen to this.
Okay.
My name is Jackson Norris. Today will be the most important of my career. My final interview with the most infamous prisoner in America. A man that the world thought was a terrorist called the Mandarin, but is now alleged to be nothing but an actor. Thus far, the subject has been evasive and apparently oblivious to the point of my work. In fact, he seems oblivious to pretty much everything, except his own growing celebrity.
Here he comes, here he comes.
Because now, the whole world knows his name. This is my last chance to get beyond his lies and excuses, to confront the subject with elements of his own past, in order to unlock the truth. Because we need to know, once and for all, who is Trevor Slattery?
Bloody hell. It's not exactly the Ritz, is it?
No, I hadn't seen that yet.
My name is Trevor.
Do you know what they need to do with that? In Iron Man 4 or somewhere, they need to reveal he actually is the Mandarin.
We
Double
and
bluff.
Saxon talked about this
See,
last
I
week.
didn't
Would
hear
that
it
be
last week,
amazing?
sorry. But it needs to be a double bluff, and he's in jail for whatever reason.
Yes, to recruit, to build an army.
Okay, that, or maybe that's where he thinks one of the rings is. They have to bring the rings in at some point.
Do you know what the interesting thing about this is? And I don't know if you noticed it, and maybe I'm wrong, but I am almost sure it shows a tattoo for a second on his neck.
I haven't seen
and
it,
it looks
so
like the rings on his neck.
Oh.
And I'm wondering, is it a double bluff?
If it was, it would be brilliant, because Kingsley's too good to waste.
But was he wasted? It was such
Oh, no, he wasn't.
a good
But in a
scene.
way, it was wasted, because he would be a perfect Mandarin. But
Yeah.
maybe that's why he's too perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked when he was announced as having a part, that the only part we could see him as was a Mandarin. Because I remember telling you, I don't think you'd seen it, the Thunderbirds movie, where he played basically a Fu Manchu Mandarin ripoff.
Yes, he was
the bad guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if you know, he's not actually Asian.
Yeah.
But he seems to get these roles.
But I loved him as the Mandarin.
He was brilliant as a
before
Mandarin.
he became
was
Trevor.
even better as Trevor.
Yeah.
It just brought, I loved it. I know there was a lot of outcry about that as well, but I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. But it would be nice if they did it, reversed it yet again.
I think it could work. And if there's one actor that could do it.
Oh, he could.
If there's one actor could do it.
Easily.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And that brings us neatly into the Marvel news.
Which one?
All
Where
of
do
it.
we start?
All of it. I mean, this has been a big week for Marvel news.
Been a big decade for Marvel.
But I mean, especially this week, something
Yeah.
that we have noticed on the show over the last few weeks is that DC have been clawing it back. They have been. Ever since the Batman and Superman announcement, they have been trying to claw it back. The announcement of...
One of the things with DC, they're announcing one movie. Well, possibly, you know, the rumor that it might be back-to-back, or maybe it's fact that it's back-to-back Batman vs. Superman, Justice League. But Marvel are announcing movie after movie after series.
Yeah.
You know, they're not stopping.
And they're just banging out the casting news as well.
And they're getting some big players.
They are.
Yeah.
They definitely are. But let's talk about this first. Planet Hulk.
Yes.
Early last year, there was the rumor that we were going to get a Planet Hulk movie.
Yeah.
For anybody that's read Planet Hulk, basically what happens is Earth's mightiest heroes decide that
Hulk's a bit too dangerous. He goes
He's
on a
too
rampage,
dangerous.
World War Hulk on Earth.
Yeah.
He nearly destroys New York and a few other cities. And the big, the kind of, they're called the Illuminati, the big guys like Professor X, and you were saying about Black Bolt and Namor and a few others decide, what can we do? I know, we'll shoot him into space and he'll float harmlessly forever.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't quite work because he lands on a planet.
Scar is the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the planet Scar.
I kept calling it Scarro, but that's a different
Yeah,
franchise.
he becomes like a gladiator.
Yeah.
And he wins his freedom, basically, on this planet.
It's
And-
what John Carter should have been with Hulk.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah, I
do you
can
know
see
what? It
that.
really
I
is
can
like
see
John
that.
Carter.
I can see that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Right, so... But the problem at the time was that apparently, because Mark Ruffalo was so good as Banner stroke Hulk, that what Marvel were worried about was that they didn't want to pay an actor like Ruffalo to play this part and then basically not have him in the movie.
Because he wasn't Banner in...
Yeah, he was Hulk.
He was
all
never
the
Banner,
time.
yeah.
He was basically Hulk all the time. So it was kind of said, no, you know what, maybe down the line, maybe Avengers 4 or 5 or something, or maybe there. But it turns out, have you seen Thor the Dark... so long since I talked to you. Have you seen Thor the Dark
I have
World?
indeed.
Did you love it?
Of course you will, yes.
Yes, of course you loved it, because it's so good. It's so good. Right, but basically, so what it says here, remember last year there was the rumours, blah, blah, blah. MTV has found some cool concept art that may support this theory. Recently, concept artist John Neesey published some unused concept art of characters that almost made it into Thor the Dark World, which included Asgardian hero Valkyrie, as well as some characters linked directly to Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. Keefe was a reference to Elo Keefe, who's a female. Oldstrong first appeared in Planet Hulk. In it, Hulk is deemed too dangerous, as we know, blah, blah, blah. But instead he lands on the alien planet, right? Eventually, right? So basically, the concept art for Thor the Dark World, because we did see one of the Cronans at the start, where Thor, his character, one of his characters is a big player. Personally, I didn't like World War Hulk. I tried to read it, or Planet Hulk. I couldn't get into it. It didn't work for me at all. But I recognised him right away. Now, there's been concept art released for Thor the Dark World, which shows characters that were in that. Is this just universe building?
It could be universe building, because Marvel do that very well. They take bits that have been elsewhere, and the fact that obviously Thor the Dark World is set across all of the nine realms, with billions of planets. So it could just be that they wanted to link it in as an Easter egg, or it could be because they were maybe gaslighting the fact that something was going to come up down the line. But it would have to have. I mean, you do need. I suppose they could have the Avengers throw them into space, but considering that Marvel can't use Professor X, there is rumours about the Inhumans movie, so Black Bolt could appear. Namor, they can't use. Fox would own that because he's a mutant. Okay. Fantastic Four, they don't own. So they're losing the Illuminati there. But it could happen that he was transported there by accident. Something could happen to put him there, and
maybe he's battling on Earth and somebody sends him, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Or the fact that Avengers 2 is going to have Ultron, possibly another guest appearance by Thanos. Something could happen that he could go up, and they could rewrite it slightly so that Banner is in it as well as, it just needs an Earth. Well, it does have an Earth atmosphere, so he can breathe. And I think it could work, but it would have to be after Avengers 2 or possibly 3 to bring him up again. Because whilst Ruffalo was brilliant, he was only a small part in that.
He was. But I mean, it's one of those things that we want a Hulk movie now.
And that sort of Hulk movie would be very good. Yeah,
everybody kind of forgets, and I forget as well, that Edward Norton Hulk movie was part of this Avengers universe.
Yeah.
It was part of Phase 1.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting
the other one wasn't.
No. Although...
bits of it was.
You could kind of watch it as the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, but you've got two Hulk origin stories at the same time going on.
Yeah, but the second one doesn't really. It just kind of gives you little pre-credits.
Yeah,
okay. So, it doesn't really...
I like them both. I think if they took the best bits of both movies and put them together...
you'd actually have a decent Hulk movie.
Oh, it was brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so... are you watching S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Of course.
Are you? What do you make of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I didn't have the expectations, and I didn't think it was going to be like the next Whedon movie. What people need to remember is it's only on episode, 10?
10.
In the UK. I think
we're only 1 week behind.
Is it 10 or 11?
They're 11 now.
But we're not getting it to March, is that right?
I don't know. Channel 4 have no...
I think it's March that we're getting it back. But it's only 10 episodes, and it's not meant to be a quick... it's a slow boil. The last few episodes have been brilliant.
Really?
I think so, yeah. For what it's meant to be. It is meant to be a TV program, not a movie.
Okay.
And it is meant to be about the characters, not always about high espionage, but they're doing that as well. The storylines are coming in nicely with Caterpillar and whoever this clairvoyant is, which might be Trevor Slattery. I'm going on a limb now and saying it. But no, I like it. And it's just because the characters, the interplay is very good. And, Coulson can do no wrong.
Yeah.
So
I just find it so boring. I want to love it. I don't want to be a hater.
Do you not find it fun?
No.
Oh, okay.
Even the last episode that we had here in the UK was the one where Coulson had been kidnapped. They had to go and rescue him. I just found it so monotonous.
Okay. No, I haven't found any bad episode. They're not brilliant episodes.
Yeah.
But, if Whedon is really good, but normally Buffy wasn't brilliant the first season.
No.
It wasn't brilliant. It was brilliant. It was good, but not brilliant. Firefly might be the only difference, I suppose.
Yeah, Dollhouse is what I'm hoping.
Season.
Yeah, it's what I'm hoping is going to happen with S.H.I.E.L.D. because the first 5 or 6 episodes.
Well, with what's his face coming in, John Garrett. I can't remember the actor's name.
Oh, this is actually why I'm talking about S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is
Paxton.
it okay?
Yeah,
Bill Paxton, thank you. Yeah, he's meant to be in the comics. He's a darker, grittier. Well, he's also a cyborg. I don't know if he'll do that, but he's a darker, grittier character. And maybe at the moment you don't have that dark character in S.H.I.E.L.D. in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sorry. Melinda May is meant to be a dark one with a tortured past, but she's quite chirpy and fun to watch when she fights.
Yeah.
none of them are dark.
Okay.
But this next guy, Paxton, can do dark.
So you know this character. This is an established character.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's in the comics. Was in the comics. Don't know if he, can't remember if he's been in recently, but he was in the comics.
Okay. Right. Okay. So Bill Paxton. Yeah. I mean, this was the story that Bill Paxton is coming into it. I still get the feeling there's a great show in there waiting to get out. It's clawing at the surface. Please let us out.
It might also be the network and the people pushing for what they want rather than just letting him go with what he does best, quirk and different types of approach. But I know, it's just fun. It's nice to see it on screen, and it doesn't... You know what, it might never be brilliant at the moment, but it's never totally bad either. It's just coasting along.
Okay.
And I like that at the moment.
Now, we've no news related to it, but just since I have you in the studio, I don't even normally have you, what are you making of Arrow?
Oh, yes.
Arrow's first rate, isn't it?
See, DC with Arrow have done the best TV program for superheroes in a very long time.
Isn't it strange that DC, when it comes to animation and TV shows,
they're just
all over it?
Well, that said, all of the X-Men and Wolverine and the X-Men and things like that were good, but then you get Justice League and Young Justice and all of the different variations of Batman and Arrow. Arrow shouldn't work.
I know, it's terrible,
really,
but it's amazing.
It's got camp moments. It's got camp moments. The villains are atrocious. Some of them are atrocious, but then you've got Arrow himself, and you've got especially Deadshot. Deadshot, I love Deadshot in it. It's just, he's smarmy.
Yeah.
And Deathstroke, I mean, that's just the story. The way it ended was just perfect. The last season or the mid-season break. Sorry, it's not a season, is it? I can't fault it.
Yeah, it started back last night in the States.
Did it?
But it's not back here until
part
March.
2 of the Barry Allen.
No, there was 2 parts. There was 2 parts.
No, but at the mid-season break, he just got hit by lightning.
Yeah, but we're not going to see any more.
Nothing
of that.
else.
That's going to be the Flash TV
I thought there was
series.
still something picked up about it.
Don't think so. I think the Flash TV series picks up there.
I have got worries about the Flash TV series.
So
I don't think it will work as well as Arrow.
No.
I think Flash TV series could go the way of Smallville. Or maybe what's the new Gotham one? That could go the way of Smallville.
We'll talk about Gotham.
I will.
Well,
okay, but no, Arrow
Gotham.
at the moment can do no wrong.
Okay, Amazing Spider-Man.
He is quite
amazing. We have a new writer on the site, Jim. He wrote a piece during the week about why.
Very good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's only a young. I think he's 14.
He's not. He's 19.
Is he 19?
19?
Okay. Right. Okay, but he's still quite young compared to us.
Yes.
He's half the age of
He
most
could be a
of us.
child.
But yeah, so he contacted me and he said he wanted to write, and sent me a few. He's a big Sherlock fan, and his Sherlock writing is excellent. So I said to him, you know what? Yeah, write us something fun. He wrote us the Spider-Man piece. Now, it got a lot of banter going on Facebook because some people didn't agree with it. His argument was that it was too soon for a reboot. But this is an argument we've heard before, and he has every right to voice that argument. Personally, I like what they've done so far, and what I've seen of Amazing Spider-Man 2 looks amazing. I cannot wait to see it.
I think he's a better Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really digging his Spider-Man, but I kind of thought it was too soon for a reboot. And I liked Amazing Spider-Man, but I preferred the original of the trilogy as the introduction one. I just thought there was something. It was more like Ultimate Amazing Spider-Man in a way.
Okay,
it was darker and a little bit more hip. They tried to be more hip. Even I think we talked about this when it first came out. The bits that got me was he was slightly bullied, but he was a cool skater guy and had friends. And that's not meant to. Peter Parker is meant to be a little nerdy kid.
Yeah. No, well, I personally loved it, and
it was very good.
I think looking back on the Raimi movies, I find them very difficult to watch.
It's because they're Raimi. There was Raimi all over it. The difference with Amazing Spider-Man, it was more about Amazing Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to disparage the writer or the director or anything else, but it was more about the character. Raimi, you could see all of the typical Raimi kind of
it was all about the
cliche and
camera. But okay, so Robert Orci, who's writing Amazing Spider-Man 2, has been talking a little bit about where the franchise is going to go. He spoke to IGN about plans concerning the future of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man franchise and how to approach a villain-centered movie like Sinister Six. We're already hearing concerns that there's too much going on. There's too many villains. There's too many characters.
Spider-Man 3 went down that route.
In
fact, Spider-Man 2 was a little bit that route.
Yeah.
But if it's deliberate and if it's concerted, then it could work. I mean, look how well Avengers worked for a multicast ensemble piece. If they do it properly, the problem with Spider-Man 3 was there was too many characters that didn't mesh. It didn't work.
Yeah.
If they do this the same way they've done Avengers, then it could be brilliant.
Yeah, well, I agree. But so what he's saying is, this is a discussion we're having right now. How exactly do you do it? How do you do it without betraying the audience and making them all mean? Drew Goddard, who of course directed somebody's written Cabin Fever, Cabin in the Woods, is going to be
say
writing
that's
that
not
one.
Cabin Fever.
So it's kind of his problem. Right, we're working on each and other stuff. There's been, The Shield, one of the greatest anti-heroes of all time. Right, there are ways to milk that story. Audiences have seen everything. They've seen all the good guys who never do anything wrong. Is there a story in seeing the other side? That's the challenge and that's the fun. So basically what he's talking about is making villains that you